Okay, so with Autogyro blades, you need to balance them and make sure that they're all equally balanced. So number your blades 1, 2 and 3, as I've done here. When you weigh them, find out which one's your heaviest, mark that number 1, and find out which one's your lightest, and mark that number 3. So obviously the middle one's number 2. Okay. Already balanced them slightly, and I've also, the lightest one, I've put some of this on to bring the weight back up. Okay, so I'm now just going to show you, these scales aren't too accurate, but I'm just going to show you what the procedure is. So that one 20 grams, that's number 1, 20 grams, yeah. Number 2, 20 grams, 20 grams. Number 3 was the lightest one, but I put some of that covering up, that varnish on to make it the weight up. Okay, 22 grams lock. 21 grams, so it's about 21.5 grams this one. That makes blade number 3 the heaviest. So now I'm just going to show you something else that you need to do when balancing them. Bolt 2 blades together. Remember that that mounting hole is on the centre line, balanced line in that direction. Okay. Get them straight. Okay, so do you remember which blade was the heaviest? I'm now going to put them on there. Let's move that over there so you can see it clearly. There you go. That's now saying that blade number 1 is the heaviest and not number 3. That's why you need to carefully balance everything. Now why do you think number 1 is shown as the heaviest and not number 3, which we've seen on the scales is actually heavier? I'm going to take number 3 off and put number 2 on. And remember, 1 and 2 on the scales were the same. So let's see if they are the same. Okay, there we go, blades 1 and 2. Hear that? Balance. It's saying number 1 is slightly heaviest, but if I tip it that way, it'll go the other way. And again that way. So marginally, this slightly out of balance, but not that far. Okay, now I'm going to show you why there is a difference. And this is what you've got to make sure when you're balancing the blades. So the mounting holes, as you can see, are in the same position on all of them, although along the blade there, it's where it balances. You also need to balance it you see the little marks there, like that. Okay, now that is its centre of mass, it balances there, look. Number 3, remember, it was the heaviest blade. Balances there, look. Okay, now when you put the two blades together, now you can see there is a big difference between that one and that one. Yeah, that's the centre of mass is on the heaviest blade. The centre of mass is closer to the centre, therefore it's having less of an effect. So I need to, even though it is the heaviest, I need to sand some of the material away here to bring that centre of mass further back in line. Now remember, there was a slight difference between these two as well. Even though they weighed the same, there you go. You can see the centre of mass is slightly off, not much, but it is. And that's enough to throw it off. So again, I need to sand them and get those centre of mass on all 3 of them equal, and then they will balance. So it's a juggling act to get them all the same. So 1, 2, 3. Right, so I'm going to sand this one. I'll show you that when it's done. Okay, so I've sanded a bit of the varnish off on this side. This side, got it back to the wood, and a little bit of the plywood back. But obviously that was no way going to get the centre of mass over there, so I put some more of this varnish on the outer portion of the blade, and now when I balance it, you'll see it's heavier, but that'll change overnight as it dries out, so I may have to put another application on. So that's it for now. I'll wait for that to dry out and see where that takes us. So the varnish has now dried, and you can see now that blade 3 is slightly heavier now, but that's fine because I can sand it. And hopefully, I don't know if you can see it on camera, I'll tilt it, hopefully it'll shine. There you go. Hopefully you can see where I've put it. Yeah, so from that point onwards, I put the varnish, and I've put a bit on there. Yeah, hopefully you can see that, and it is now balancing slightly heavier, but that's not a problem because I can sand it back. So I'm going to sand that back, and hopefully I can get it to balance properly. Okay, so there we go. I've sanded a little bit of the varnish off on this side only. I've left that side as it is, and in between sanding I've kept checking how my balance is going. As you see there now, it's balanced. Can't quite decide whether I ought to go on that side or that side as it stands at the moment, and it could be to do with the hardwood being heavier at the top, but there you go. I'll put it this way up so the hardwood's at the bottom. There you go. That's nicely balanced. Okay, so let's see where these two balance together. Of course, there could be a bend in my bolt which could sway my balance off. And now I'm going to balance 2 against 3. See where we get balanced. Well, there's nails down it, balanced it, saying 3, slightly heavier. But again, same procedure. If 2's lower, favours 2. Turn it the other way. Alright, that'll do. That's as close enough as it is, because I'm now going to cover it with some coloured tape. I could paint it, but again I could have a thicker coat on one end or the other end. This stuff is fairly evenly weighted, so I'm going to cover it like I did with that one, and coloured tape full length, and then I'll recheck and rebalance. And if I need to add a little bit of tape somewhere to get the balance, that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'll start covering it with tape. I'll start from the rear, so I'll stick it along the centre, fold it forward, fold it back, then another piece there, another piece there. Oh, I can't remember how I did it, and then maybe one at the front. So always start from the back so that your overlaps are at the back. Right, so I'll cover that and I'll get back to you when that's done, because we've not quite finished. We need shims to go on. So shims have got to go on the trailing edge of this to give it some negative incidence. There's no shims on these yet, and no shims on these, because what we want to do is we want the blade negatively down like that, so as the wind or the air is passing up through it, the blade moves in a forward motion, giving us that aerofoil, so that moves through the airflow. Okay, so if it was just flat, it wouldn't go anywhere, so we need a slight angle like that. That's why we had shims on the bottom. Right, so anyway, I'll crack on with that. I'll show you that later. Okay, so I've now covered the blades in coloured tape, and I've bolted 1 and 3 back together again. Let's see how they balance. And they balance very well. There you go. I'll put it that way. Might be a slight bend in the bolt, I'm not sure. So it's not biased on 1 or 3. There you go, balanced. Right, let's try 2 and 3 together. Now I may have to add a bit of more coloured tape to one or the other blade to get them to balance properly. Let's put 1 and 2 together, so we have with it. Takes a fair bit of patience to get these balanced, but it pays dividends in the end. Same as you wouldn't have an unbalanced propeller on your motor. Okay, let's see what happens here. That's saying 1 is heavier than 2. Let's try it the other way around. 1 is heavier than 2, so that would suggest that 2 needs a little bit more tape added to it. So what I'm doing now is balance 2 and 3 together. Two and 3, let's see where we go. There you go, so 3 is heavier than 2. So 2 does need a little bit of extra tape. Some of this tape sticking on it. Just see if this edge here, and I don't want to move that centre of mass balance. Now I could add a little bit of weight at the end. Not to balance it, but its centre of mass won't equal with the rest. Central mask, see, there it is. There we go. So now there we go, balanced blades. So I'll check again that balances with number 1, it should do. And that's it, job done. Well, no, it's not job done, is it? I'll have to put the shims on there, that'll be the next job. Okay. Okay, so you need to make some shims out of 1/64 ply, or you can use thin 0.8mm, I think it is, fiberglass sheet. You need to glue it onto the trailing edge mounting point on the underside of the wing to give it some negative. Okay, And you need to make sure that the plate won't slide off it. So you need to mark that line where it is. Okay.